Hi everyone. So we are live here on DAMS-eMedicoz channel on YouTube with you with a high achiever and a very special high achiever. He has been a consistent winner of DAMS Grey Matter quiz. He is a very dear student of mine. He is proud Molanian also, proud Damsonian also, and he has a rank 9 in this year's INICET May 2022. Armaan Saith, how are you, beta? And tell me, how are you feeling today?
Thank you so much, sir. I'm feeling awesome, sir. When I saw my rank, I triple checked it against my roll number because I was not sure that that is my rank. But yes, sir, I'm feeling good, sir.
So how does it feel when you see the single digit rank in your name?
Yes, sir. For some time I could not believe it, but after that, when I realized it, I was feeling good, really good, sir.
Okay. And so Arman, tell us about your journey with DAMS. When did you join us and how was your experience with the classes and how was your experience overall?
Sir, I joined DAMS when I was in third year in the foundation batch. And sir, at that time, the like it was really good to be attending the offline classes. We realized the value only after COVID came, and we weren't able to attend those offline classes. So we were able to that time the learning was concept based. I attended all the lectures offline and then later online when the classes had become online later. So I attended those online lectures also. And so the even if I was not like in my internship here, I couldn't give too much time, dedicated time to studies. But since I had studied well earlier, so and I saw that in the exam as well that I could remember things which I studied a long time back also, and that was a really good thing. It was a really good feeling that I could remember things I'd done earlier. That was all thanks to attending the complete subject classes which were held, so that our concepts can be strong.
So Arman, tell me how important was making notes in the classes and what was your experience in the classroom when you were making notes and did the notes help you in the final phase of revision?
Yes, sir. Notes were the most important thing since I revised it both at the time of my college exams and it was revised again in the time of practicals and for the then before the TNDs also it was revised. So it was revised multiple times, and that multiple time revision was the one which was important, and I could remember the notes only mainly as the primary source. Other things weren't really so important as the notes were.
And what was your experience with the multi-level testing system that we have in DAMS, your class test, SWT? You were also a TND student. You also did INICET TND. So what were your
So,
experience with different formats of test papers that DAMS conducts?
But TNDs and SWTs were really important. When I was in my final year, that time we used to do 50 questions of DQB every day and try to give an SWT every week. So that way, one subject was revised with that. Then later on, we moved on to the TNDs, then the grand test, CBTs. So all those tests, we found the I found those questions being repeated in different and the explanations of questions are quite that really helped me to see the different types of questions. And even if I didn't know an option, but if I read about it, so next time if that came as a question, so that helped also.
And Arman, how important is that discipline part? Like you were saying, you were always doing 50 questions from DQB every day. How important is that discipline?
So, so like starting with DQB helped me keeping my flow good with my questions, so that in the exam I really didn't have to take care of the time. I had a sense that I have to finish this question this much time, so I never felt that I'm short of time or I'll be short of time. I finished the paper well in advance, to have enough time to revise also.
So Arman, in the chat, I see some students have asked a question, which batch were you? So can you tell them that you were with the internship and were you able to do it with the internship and how did you manage?
So honestly, in my internship, there were very few postings when I could sit and give dedicated time to studies. It was more of like if I'm on a posting, I could switch on some video and look at it, or revise some photos I had taken of some important points. And even then, in the end, you had also told me about the those flashcards. They were really useful. I could when I was not scoring well on my tests, then they helped me to revise those points which had to be memorized and not the conceptual points. So they were very useful during my postings. But honestly, I could not really skip too much time to studies during my internship. But my previous studies and my foundation was good, sir. I think so. That's why I could do well on this paper.
And Arman, there are a lot of questions in the chat about how many questions did you attempt and what was your review of the paper? Did you find it tough? Did the rank 9 also find it tough? Or what was your review of the paper?
Sir, I attempted all of the questions. Even I took some really wild guesses also. But I wanted to be aggressive in the paper since the negative marking is 1/3. So I wanted to be aggressive, and the paper was not conventional, sir. When I came back, I checked my questions, so I had got many wrong. Like I found around 25 to 30 wrong on the first day itself. So it was a little difficult, and it was not conventional papers like we had done on the previous year papers. So yes, I didn't find it too easy.
Were you able to manage time in this paper, or did you find that it was taking a lot of time in looking at the choices? At what time were you able to finish the paper?
So I finished all my questions with about 15 minutes remaining. The first time answer. Honestly, if I would have stopped to think at each question, then it would have taken a lot of time. So there was like, if I felt that I'm having a feeling this is the answer, so I went for it because I knew that thinking too much will also not help a lot. So when I thought that I feel that this might be the answer, so I went for it. But if you have to rule out every option and do, then it becomes a bit difficult. But sir, the time was fairly sufficient, I feel, for the paper.
And also, Arman, I want to know from you, how many would you have gotten correct if you know? Because there are students who are asking this in the chat, that how many did you get correct?
So I think somewhere my correct would have been somewhere between 160 to 170. I think I have not opened my specific to see how many I've got correct, but it's my guess that somewhere around 160 to 170 I would have got correct in between that number.
And Arman, over the last 4 years as a DAM student, I have, I think, personally interacted with you in multiple forums, in multiple quizzes, and you have every time impressed me with your intelligence and your ability. Do you recall any particular DAMS moments that come to your mind
Yes, sir.
today where you were like, हाँ यार ये तो हमेशा याद रहेगी बात?
Yes, sir. Definitely, all the quizzes I've been in with you since my third year only. We had in LHMC we had our first quiz with you. Then you came to MAMC for our mid-lecturals quiz, and then both the gray matter quizzes, and sir also that clinical grand rounds quiz. I remember all of them quite nicely, and they were really good interactions. A lot of things that I learned in those quizzes, even if I couldn't revise them later, but they always stuck in my mind. That all those points, and quizzing always prepared me for the exam as well.
And how important was, you started early, you made your notes in the foundation, pre-foundation years, then you went on to do test and discussions. So how important is, this transition from notes to application of notes with TND?
It's a TND was a different experience since in TNDs we discussed all the options separately, like why the specific option is the correct answer, why others aren't, and then the important topics revolving around that question. So that question was very wholesome in itself. Every question was important, and that way it helped in targeted study than specifically. Like in the end, I think INICET TND was something which I could do dedicatedly. I could not complete it, but the tests that I gave were really useful. And I saw some of them directly repeating as top questions in the exam as well. They weren't too many repeats, but the ones that those were definitely there on the test.
And what about, giving grant tests? How important is to give the grant test and practice for the final exam?
So
Arman, I think we've lost your audio in
Worked
between.
up that day.
Can you repeat your answer regarding the grand tests?
Yes, sir. Grant test really helped me since on the exam day I didn't feel I was giving a test, real test. It was more like I'm another giving another grant test. I just prepared myself as if it's just another test, and I wasn't too nervous about it. I could stay calm on that day. So that, and also it gives me gives an idea about the approximate score I'm going to get on the exam. So that way, it helped.
And Arman, I want to know from you what makes you the high achiever that you are. What is your mindset? What do you tell yourself every day that what makes you the high achiever that you are? Tell me.
So I didn't think anything specifically and go on the exam. I knew that I have been studying consistently, and even if because honestly, I couldn't study quite well in the last few months because of my internship. But I knew that somewhere I would know the answer if I would think calmly, and I would know the answer. So I didn't think too much before the exam. That was the thing. I just went
And
on
Arman, we have some students in the chat box who are asking that if they have not done well in the INICET exam, any message that you want to give them for NEET PG, what should they be doing and what were you doing till now?
Can you repeat the question? So sorry, the net
Uh,
was a little
So
slow.
the question is, any advice for people who could not do well in this INICET exam?
Yes, I know definitely this time the paper was not conventional, and secondly, many people are appearing just after their internship, and those who are even like some people are fatigued because of studying. So I think even in NEET is coming up, and then after 6 months another INICET. So I think revising notes and targeted study is definitely possible, and after that way, everyone can do well. I think. I know I've seen people do well. Yeah, after studying for a few months, if they give a dedicated period to study, and so they'll definitely be able to do well by revising notes and targeted study.
And Arman, I'll have a very special guest just to say congratulations to you. I'll invite Dr. Deepthi also, and so that she can also say a quick congratulations to you.
Hi, Armaan.
Yeah, good evening, ma'am.
Hi, Bacha. Very good evening. Heartiest congratulations, Armaan. And I'm so, so happy for you. And I'm also very, very, very proud of you. And to all the live listeners who are here, I want to tell you that he knows, a lot of things. But just like anyone else, ये बेचारा इतना nervous था एग्जाम से पहले. If some of you are wondering कि क्या toppers को भी डर लगता है, he was really nervous. He called me up. He was worried, stressed. He's a current intern. So kudos, Arman. I am very proud of you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you to sir also. You really helped me a lot when I came to DAMS also. So thank you so much.
It's our pleasure, beta, and I wish you all the very best for future as well. And Arman, are you going to give NEET PG? Are you able to hear me, Arman? NEET PG देगा?
मैम पेपर तो दूंगा.
हाँ,
पेपर तो
very
देना ही
good.
है मैम.
जरूर देना है बेटा, पेपर जरूर देना है ना? That's the spirit. And once again, heartiest congratulations, and I wish the best for you. जल्दी से मिलते हैं अभी, है ना?
And
Thank
Arman,
you so much, ma'am. Thank you, sir.
before you go, Arman, just a quick question that a lot of students have messaged me to ask you. Okay, can you quickly analyze the topics from this INICET which can be important for a November INICET aspirant? Anything that you feel that a November aspirant should not miss?
Yes, sir. I felt that definitely in surgery, and there were many questions on trauma based on trauma. And sir, in again then in obs gynae there were a few atypical questions this time, which we didn't expect. And in derma again there were repeat questions like cauliflower shaped lesion on the foot. There it was another repeat from previous year questions. And sir, then in surgery also GIT and trauma were the most important topics. In medicine, I didn't feel any specific thing was asked, But again, in pharma, they ask new drugs, specifically monoclonal antibodies, are again in questions. So those questions are also like the new drugs can be revised once from the FDA website before the exam. That is what I thought, and so these are the ones I can recall right now.
And
uh,
definitely,
on the top of my
to
head.
add all this together, what Arman has told you is very, very important. This year paper was a mixture of inputs from JIPMER, PGI, and AIMS all put together. So AIMS always likes to ask, trauma. PGI people always like to ask GI surgery and biochemistry, which was and genetics. It was a lot of it in the paper. JIPMER people like to ask monoclonal antibodies. NIMHANS people like to ask neuro and at, and so we had all those ingredients making this paper. So anyone who is preparing for the upcoming INICT should keep in mind that the exam is prepared by all these four national institutes of national importance. So you will see their inputs in the paper. So that is what my suggestion is, and always keep telling yourself whatever is your result in this INICT, you can do better in the subsequent exams. There is a NEET PG coming up. There is a INICT coming up. Keep the hopes alive. Stay positive. And on a personal note, I want to congratulate Arman, and I'll do another session with him. And probably I would want Arman to meet your parents also. So because we are in the post-COVID era, I would be happy to meet you in person, and I'm inviting you. And if with family to DAMS office, we'll be happy to meet all of them. You are a bright boy with a very, very bright future ahead. Any thoughts on branch that you want to take?
So I want to take medicine, so that is for sure. So I'll think about then if I get on this time, or I'll think about it. Sir.
Best of
But I
luck.
want to take medicine, sir.
Any final words? Any final motivation line for future aspirants?
Is that no one should give up hope, sir. Anything is possible with hard work.
Anything is possible with hard work. On that beautiful note, we end this interview. I wish you all the best, Arman. I look forward to meeting you again. And Arman, heartiest congratulations. Consistency is the key. Let's make a quick V sign together. And we will make it in person later on. I think you are holding the phone.
Thank you, sir.
Best of luck, beta. Best of luck. God bless you. Bye, beta.
Bye, sir. Thank you.
Bye, beta. Bye.